something new. Pretty little, like I'm like a die-hard Murder, She Wrote fan. Do you want to know what I'm reading for Cloak and Dagger Christmas? I think you do. I think you want to know. I want to know. Hi everyone, it's Audrey and this is Chapter and Converse. I wanted to hop on really quickly to talk about the Cloak and Dagger Christmas Read-a-thon. I'm still getting my footing here. I'm still figuring things out. I knew there were some readathons going on this month, but honestly was just too intimidated by trying to do one in a week-long time frame between the holidays and getting started on BookTube and everything else that's happening in life. But when I heard about Cloak and Dagger, I was really excited because it seems to be the least pressure-filled readathon, and it's an excuse to pick up 8 mystery books and read them throughout the month of December. So I had said in my November rewind that I had read a whole bunch of mysteries and I was going to branch out and read other things, but then that can wait till January with like New Year's resolutions, right? So one more excuse for one more month to do mysteries only. Love. So Cloak and Dagger Christmas was founded by Kate Howe, and this year she has 3 co-hosts, which are Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures, Kate from the novel Nomad, and Carolyn from Carolyn's Reading Rambles. So I will link all of their channels down below, and they all have videos up announcing this, like back in the middle of November. And again, I 100% missed the boat on all of this stuff, but you can go back and see their videos announcing it, announcing their TBR, and talking about the readathon. They also have the Cloak and Dagger Christmas hashtag, so if you're participating in it, be sure to use that on your different social media channels. And basically they came up with 8 different prompts. It's 4 sets of opposites, so it's sugar and spice, home and travel, winter and summer, and old and new. And what those 8 things mean is totally open to interpretation, so you apply it however you want. Make it fit a book that you want to read, find a book that fits whatever you interpret that to be. And they did everything from old could be, you know, a book from 80 years ago, or it could be a book that you've owned for 5 years or 10 years or whatever old is to you. And home could mean cozy and warm and kind of all of those warm fuzzy vibes like a cozy mystery, or it could mean I live in this town or this city or this country and I'm going to read a book from there. So again, I love a readathon that is low pressure, open to interpretation, and true confession time, first readathon ever. So the first book I'm going to read for Sugar is Poppy Done to Death by Charlaine Harris. And this is part of her Aurora Teagarden mystery series. So I need to pick this one up from my library, so I'm popping it up over here somewhere. And I have watched all the Aurora Teagarden movies on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, but I've never actually read one of the books, which is embarrassing, I think. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. But I love these movies. Like basically anything Hallmark puts out there, I'm like eating it up with a spoon. But I decided this is a perfect excuse to finally pick up one of the books. And I read some of the synopses, and because they haven't done all the movies of all the books, so I'm going to start kind of a few books back from where the movies ended, and that's the Poppy one. And there's also some differences between the movies and the books, and what I read in the synopsis, I'm liking what the book did better, so I'm going to start there. Okay, so for Spice, I'm going to read Perfect Remains by Helen Fields. So this is a book I picked up during Thriller Fest back in July here in New York, and I hadn't heard of Helen Fields before this conference, but I saw her on a panel. I really liked her as an author. I found her to be really engaging, and as she talked about her series, I also found that to be really interesting to me. So this is the first, I want to say she has 3 books out now, and even at the time in July, I don't know if you could get even this one here in the US. You might have only been able to get it in the UK and in Europe, but you can always get it on Book Depository, but I'm pretty sure you can get this on Amazon now. So all I really know is people sort of compared this to Karen Slaughter, and don't shoot me, I haven't even read a Karen Slaughter book yet, but I have one on my shelf, but it's not part of this because I wanted to go with the Helen Fields one, plus the Helen Fields ones is a little bit shorter. So it's supposed to be kind of dark and gritty and, you know, a spicy, but not in a 50 Shades of Grey way, thriller. Okay, for home, I'm going to read a book by Lorna Barrett called Murder is Binding, and I'll be honest, I had no idea what to do for home, and I didn't really want to read a book in New York because that felt too easy for me and too obvious, and that I've already read too many books from New York. So I was looking for a good cozy to start with, and I wanted to do something I hadn't seen on Hallmark. So I literally Googled like good cozy mysteries, and this is one of the series that came up. And it is the main character, I think was like city chick, and then she moves to a town in New Hampshire, opens up a mystery bookstore, and is on like mystery row, or bookstore row rather, and one of her fellow bookstore owners is found dead, and I'm pretty sure like our main character finds her, and you know, of course, she's gonna have to amateur sleuth it up and figure out the crime. So that's kind of all I know about it, and I'm totally cool with that, and I'm really intrigued, and I'm also kind of super jealous that this lady moves to a small town or opens up a mystery bookshop, because it's kind of my dream, but not the dead body part. So for my travel book, I picked And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, thinking that all of these poor people travel to an island, and one by one, they're getting knocked off. So what a horrible vacation they're all having. I've never read this one before. I do know the bones of the story. I do know some of the twists, which I realize is not always fun when you're going to read a mystery for the first time, but everyone who has read this book, whether they knew the story or not, just talks about what a great mystery it is, how it's written, the twists, the reveals, all of that. And I'm just eager to read it, and I'm excited to read it. So this is my travel book. For winter, I chose Three Blind Mice by Agatha Christie. And this is another Agatha Christie that I haven't read. And it's another one I know a little bit about, according to the little synopsis I found online. It's winter, a bunch of people are snowed in, somebody's a murderer, and this is the book that eventually led to the play The Mousetrap. So, again, gonna hit up the library, grab a copy of this, and that's my winter story. For my summer book, I picked Tangerine, partially because I was already reading this as of December 2nd, which is when I discovered this read-a-thon, so I figured, well, this is going to work perfectly. And maybe I'm stretching the mystery bit of Cloak and Dagger, but I'm going to go with it. So this book is set in the 50s. My mom actually bought it first, and I think she bought it because of the 1950s, and then when she found out it was a bit of a mystery, she handed it off to me when she was done, because she knew that I would like it also. But basically, Alice and Lucy were roommates in college. They were strangers before college, paired up as roommates, you know, freshman year, and were the best of friends and totally inseparable, and all that fabulous jazz that goes along with that. But something happened, dun dun dun, and I'm guessing that they're not really such good friends anymore. So when Lucy shows up on Alice's doorstep in Tangier, of all places, Alice is a little bit thrown. And again, it's dual viewpoints, it's past and present. I have absolutely no idea what's going on or where the story is going, but so far I am really enjoying it. So my something old is Postmortem by Patricia Cornwell. And I've had this book for a really long time, and I had mentioned in my newbie tag that my first boss introduced me to Patricia Cornwell, and this series was well underway at that point, but I started here and went very deep into the series. I was watching an interview with Patricia Cornwell on YouTube not that long ago, and was reminded of why I love her writing, why I love her as an author, why I love Kay Scarpetta, her character, and her whole cast of characters. So I decided I want to reread her books from the beginning, and this is the first book in the series. So I'm going to give this one a go as my something old. And finally, my something new is All the Beautiful Strangers. So I talked about this in my book depository haul, which will actually probably go up after this, but this showed up. I've been hearing reviews on BookTube about this one, and people are raving about it. I also heard that it's Pretty Little Liars meets Gossip Girl, which makes me immediately want to read this book, so I was looking for an excuse to fit this into my December TBR, and since it fits into this category, or I'm forcing it to fit into this category, it's a win. So basically, our main character goes to a boarding school in Connecticut, and there's an elite, kind of under the radar, Skulls-ish type of secret society that she wants to be a part of, and you have to do all these horrible things to be able to be in it, which she does, and in the process I think she uncovers some stuff about her mom, and I don't even know, but basically I'm in. It's all good stuff, and this is my something new. And those are my 8 choices for Cloak and Dagger Christmas. So hopefully I can read all 8 of them. If not, they will definitely roll over into my reading list for January. I would love to hear if anyone else is participating in Cloak and Dagger Christmas and what books you're planning to read, or if you've read any of the books that I've picked and what you thought of them. And hopefully everyone is having a great December so far, and if you're participating in other readathons, I hope they're all going great. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending some time here, and hope to see you back here soon. Bye.